Okay, good afternoon and welcome to Iyun Benzion. And today we're discussing Yevamos Kuf Dalet 104. The Mishnah says on Kuf Dalet and Aleph, Chalitza Balayla Chalitza Sakshera. Rabbi Lezer opposed us. Machlokas do Chalitza at night. Can you go at night? Chalitza. People need to do Chalitza to do it at night. Are they allowed to do it or not? Rabbi Lezer apostles. And it seems we passing the Rabbi Lezer apostles. The Gemara explains the Machlokas in the Gemara. What is the Machlokas? What is the machlokas? Machlokas is whether we consider chalitza to be like tchilas din or to be sof din. Because part of chalitza is not just isur v'heter, that now he's not doing Iyun with her. She's mutaris l'shuk. She can marry anybody else. Isur v'heter. It's also dinim maminis because as long as he hasn't done chalitza, the yavam or one of the yavams is entitled to the inheritance of his dead brother, the deceased brother. And when he does chalitza, he is absolving himself, or he is foregoing his brother's inheritance. So he's being mafkir his brother's inheritance. Not being mafkir, I mean he's letting go on his Yerusha. So it's dinim maminis also. Since there's an aspect of dinim maminis, so we know in Masechet Sanhedrin that when you start a monetary case, it has to be done during the day. You can finish it, the verdict can be done at night. You can hear the hearings could be done during the day, but the finishing could even be done during the night. So that's what the Gemara says, that the Madamar, the Tanakama says, Chalitza Sakshera, that you can do it with the Eved, holds that it's like Gemar din. And the one who says that it's possible now, which will be passing like, is Tchilas din. It's like the beginning of din. So what is this machlokas over here? So I want to explain it based on a theme we're seeing over here and throughout the Masechta, but we saw it very clearly on Kuf Beis Hamud Beis, that what happens if a Yevama grows up among the Achin, right? All the brothers of her deceased husband were young, and she's waiting for them to become older. So we're worried. Are we worried that maybe she took off their shoes, and therefore she did a chalitza? So the Gemara said, the Gemara's maskana is Vika da Ami Taima, and toward the top of Kuf Beis Hamud Beis, Taima de lo chazinan, ha chazinan choshen. If we saw her taking off a shoe or choshesh, katani bai kavana, the Mishnah says it needs kavana. In order to chalitza, they have to have kavana for the kinyan of chalitza. Hani immediately ishtaruya la'alma, avala'achen mifsala. Right? You can have this halfway chalitza where she can puzzle to the ach. I mean, no one could do even with her anymore, but she's not mutaris l'shuk. So that's the thing, the status over here, that chalitza involves two different things. It involves a tchilas din and it involves a gemar din. The tchilas din is the halfway point where you pass over to the achin. You pass over to the achin, even without kavana to do miss of chalitza, but you pass over to the achin. But you do a maisa, but you don't create a chalos, right? You don't matir to the shuk, and you don't. You're not absolving. That's what I'm saying over here. You're not absolving yourself, or are you absolving yourself from there? At what point, right? The psul to the achin, right? Is that the point where he loses out the inheritance, or the point he loses out the inheritance is when she's mutaris l'shuk? So that's exactly the machlokas over here on Kuf Dalet and Aleph between the Chamim and Rebbe Lezer. That according to Rebbe Lezer, it's possible we paskin like he passes it at night because he rules that chalitza is like tchilas din, meaning the chalitza taking off the shoe is like tchilas din. Because even the very first act, it's not like a gemar din. It's not just the gemar din. Chalitza involves the tchilas din also, because the first part of chalitza that you're mat is that you're passer to the achim. So it must be that the dinim maminis, right? This is only coming from dinim maminis over here, because so we're learning from dinim maminis is like says Masechet Sanhedrin, tchilas din could be has to be during the day, but the gemar din has to be at night. So here we're learning from dinim maminis, so we have to be talking about dinim maminis. So it must be that when you start doing chalitza, the tchilas din already, the tchila when you're passing to the achin, that already is tchilas din already there. He loses the inheritance already once she's nifslas to the achin. All the brothers lose the inheritance already immediately, and mutaris l'shuk is a secondary step, but already tchilas hadin is how we paskin. You already lose the inheritance immediately. Nifslas to the achin, and that would come out a maskana, a major nafkamina. It doesn't not talked about anywhere. It's talked about here. This is where it talks about it. All the brothers lose the inheritance already when she's nifslas to the achin, even if there's no taras l'shuk. See you in Mishnah Yomi.